In life, it is rare that you find yourself involved in an incident that you never imagined you would be involved in. At such times, you may not be able to keep your cool and may even panic. Mary also had a very scary experience this time when she found herself in a hospital bed. She had a very scary experience. She was mentally trapped by the incident and could no longer trust her husband or her best friend. Will Mary be able to solve this case? How will she overcome this? She woke up in a hospital bed. She remembered the last thing she ate, and she realized something terrible. I am a newlywed who lives with my husband. I am now a housewife, but we are thinking of having children soon. Then something scary happened to us, like a suspense drama. I met my husband through my best friend Patricia. We had a great chemistry, right from the moment we met, and we got married very quickly. We were going out together for a short time. We had the same vibes in terms of hobbies, personalities, and everything else. It felt like it was fate. I was so grateful to Patricia for introducing us. Even after we were married, Patricia and I remained close. The three of us would have drinks at home. I guess I'm not so good with alcohol these days. I often fell asleep before I realized it. One day, while we were living such a happy life, an incident occurred. Patricia came to visit me in the afternoon with homemade sweets. Patricia loves to make sweets, especially recently. She has been making and bringing me sweets every day. We had a nice chat as usual. That's all I remember. We didn't drink alcohol. We just ate sweets and chatted, as we should have. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. I thought at first that I had gotten some kind of disease. My husband found me lying at home. He called out to me, but I didn't respond, so he called an ambulance. The nurse told me to take it easy first. I was still foggy, so I went back to sleep. The next time I woke up, I felt fine. When I came to my senses, I found myself wondering about my illness. I started to wonder what in the world was wrong with me. I thought maybe I was having a stroke, but my body was fine. And the doctors and nurses didn't mention my illness, but said things that made sense. They said, "I know you're going through a lot, but you have to take care of yourself. Don't keep it to yourself." What do they mean by, and so on? I don't know. Soon after that, my husband came to the hospital room, and he cried too. "I'm sorry I couldn't protect you." Anyway, the doctor was there too. I asked him, "What's wrong with me after all?" I asked. Both the doctor and the nurses looked at me with puzzled looks on their faces. "Well, maybe you lost some of your memory because you were in a coma." Memory? I certainly don't know when I collapsed. Other than that, though, it's all pretty clear. What is it that's wrong with him? Please tell me. I was too insistent, but she looked at me as if she didn't get it. Mary had taken too many sleeping pills and was in a temporary coma. I can't decide if she doesn't want to tell you or has lost her memory, but that's what happened. After telling her this, the doctor and nurse left the scene. Sleeping pills? Me? Looking at everyone's reaction, I could only think of one thing. A suicide attempt with a large dose of sleeping pills. I have no memory. How is that possible? As I was confused, my husband said, "Let's take a good rest now and think about the future." But This was too sudden a turn of events, and I was both confused and scared. I couldn't stop the tears from falling out of my eyes. "I'm upset right now, so first you need to rest for now. I'm going to go get a change of clothes for now." I was left alone and thought about many things. Am I losing my memory? No, my memories up to that time are still there. In the first place, I have never thought of suicide. In fact, every day was fun. And I dreamed of a future where we would have children and create a warm family. I slept well at night, and I would be lying if I said I have zero stress. I'm not so distressed that I would kill myself. And yes, I don't have any sleeping pills. I don't have multiple personalities like in the TV dramas, no way. I've come to one conclusion after all. Someone spiked me with sleeping pills. When I thought of that at that moment, I started having trouble breathing and hyperventilating. "It's all right. Calm down." Yes. Don't think about anything else right now." I was in the hospital. The nurse who was nearby took care of me right away, so I was fine. Then I couldn't eat anything. I was in shock. Still, I couldn't stop thinking when I was alone in a hospital bed. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I couldn't get spiked. And since we lived together in the first place, there's only one person I would suspect. Maybe my husband. I thought we loved each other. When I thought about it, my husband's tears when I woke up also seemed suspicious. No, but I do all the meal preparation, even the serving. When does my husband have time to put sleeping pills in? I mean, it's the time when my husband is at work in the first place. It's not normal, right? There's zero chance that he could have mixed it with juice or something to give himself an alibi. Certainly, I drank the juice with the snacks Patricia brought me that time. Ah, Patricia's sweets. Come to think of it, she always brings me homemade sweets these days. I always fell asleep right after eating the sweets and always had a blast. Maybe she's been putting sleeping pills in her sweets for a while now. But how could I suspect my best friend Patricia? I can't think of any motive to begin with. If it were true, I would have talked to my husband, but I don't know that he's clean either. Mary hated herself for doubting her husband and best friend, whom she'd trusted with all her heart. It was only a suspicion, and there was no evidence that either her husband or Patricia had given her sleeping pills. I was so confused, unable to talk to anyone about it, and the day of his discharge from the hospital came quickly. She said, "Hang in there, and if you have any problems, I'll listen if you want me to. Don't worry about it alone. Thank you." After all, I couldn't tell anyone that I might have been drugged to sleep by someone else. I was hyperventilating, and I wasn't eating much. I was so gaunt. When I was discharged from the hospital, because of that I ended up being labeled as a woman who had an attempted suicide. Mary couldn't believe that she had been drugged with sleeping pills. But that's all I could think of, and I was sick and tired of suspecting my husband or my best friend. Was it her husband or Patricia who gave Mary sleeping pills, or what will happen next? I would like you all to try to guess. I was out of the hospital and went home for the time being, but I was so anxious. All the food was brought at a convenience store, and I just ate it right away. My husband, perhaps sensing my anxiety, suggested a plan. He said, "Mary, since you are anxious about being home alone, why don't you stay at your parents' house until you get settled?" But I'm totally fine." "I'm worried about you, Mary." "Well, I'll think about it. I really don't want to go to my parents' house because I enjoy our life together." But in a corner of my mind, I was also unsure if I should listen to my husband. I really should go to my parents' house because my life is in danger, but I really didn't want to question my husband. It was going to be more stressful this way. Patricia came to visit me right after I got out of the hospital. "I heard you in the hospital, Mary. I was so surprised." "Yes, I had a breakdown the day Patricia came to see me. I don't remember what happened after Patricia and I had sweets that day." "Well, I was normal." "Normal?" "You said you got sleepy after the snack, so I left right away." "Oh, yeah?" "Mary, shouldn't you go home to your parents for a while?" "What? Why?" "Look, I don't want you to fall ill all by yourself again." "That's what my husband said, but I'll be fine." "Really? I think it would be better that way." "Well, if you eat something sweet, your worries will blow away. So eat your sweets. Eat them. I brought you some juice. Let's drink it." "Thank you." I shouldn't have doubted Patricia. I was afraid to eat sweets, so I tried to fool her. "Come on now, try it. It'll make you feel better." "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I have to go to the bathroom first." "Patricia, you drink your juice too." "Okay." I said that to buy myself some time. After about 5 minutes, I went back in. When I returned, Patricia had eaten both her snack and her juice. She said, "Here, come on. It tastes so good. Try it." "Yeah, I feel refreshed. I think I'll eat it." A moment when I thought, oh no. "I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom too." Patricia ran to the bathroom. Now I put away my snacks and pretended to eat them. As soon as Patricia came out of the bathroom, we immediately talked about the snacks. "Oh, you ate the candy." "Yes, they were so good. I ate all of them at once. After I ate it, I started to feel sleepy." "Well, I think I'd better go home." Mary, don't do anything crazy again. Crazy? Okay, I'll see you later. That evening, Patricia called me. Oh, Mary, how are you? You saw me just now, didn't you? I fell asleep again, and my husband got really mad at me. Oh, really? I can't believe you'd get mad at me like that. I'm really sick of it. You should just leave him. Ha ha ha. You've got to be kidding me. I don't know if it's because I'm suspicious of Patricia, but maybe she's checking to see how I'm doing with the sleeping pills. So a few days later, I came back to visit her again with homemade sweets. I managed to avoid eating the sweets last time. I couldn't keep moping around forever, so I made up my mind. How are you, Mary? I made some more sweets for you to try. Thanks, every time. I'll bring you some juice. I know Patricia's pastries are delicious, lol. Come on, eat up. Why don't you eat some too? I'll eat mine. I'll just have some juice. Why don't you have some of mine? No. You think it's poisoned, do you? Lol. No, of course not. Then try some of mine. Or is it because there are sleeping pills in it again? What? I don't think so. It's Patricia, right? The one who put sleeping pills in my sweets and sent me to the hospital? On what basis? Isn't that awful? That was Mary who tried to kill herself, wasn't it? You can't just blame someone else for that. What? I didn't tell Patricia that she collapsed after taking sleeping pills, did I? I only said that she collapsed. But you said something strange yesterday. Strange things. What did you mean when you said, don't get any crazy ideas? I didn't tell anyone that I attempted suicide. I guess I must have assumed that on my own. So you're saying I didn't put sleeping pills in this candy and I was mistaken? Yes, that's right. Of course not. Then eat it and prove it to me. I'm just guessing, but you've increased the quantity since yesterday, haven't you? Are you sure I can eat it? You're really rude to doubt me. You don't have to eat it anymore. Saying this, Patricia tried to take the sweets home, but I prevented her from doing so. So you don't mind if I check the ingredients on these pastries then? I mean, I checked the ingredients of the sweets you brought me the other day too. Yeah, I'm the one who put the sleeping pills in? I knew it. Why? Don't worry, I didn't put in a life-threatening dose. That's not the point. You should have just left him and divorced him. Why? I thought you were happy about our marriage. I was never happy about it. I fell in love with him first. What? We were supposed to be married, you thieving cat. What are you talking about? You're always getting in my way. I was going to put you and James to sleep, and then I was going to sleep with him. What? And you always fell asleep. And then you'd go home together. What, you mean like before we got married? When we were having parties? All the time, even after you got married, the three of us would stay there and have a drink. I thought if James and I slept together, you guys would end up getting divorced. Are you insane? Ha 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 ha. I'm telling you, it was James' idea to give you sleeping pills. It was his idea. No, of course not. Poor you. You just trust your husband so much that you fall for it. I only put a little bit of sleeping pills in you, but he's relentless. Your life could be in danger. I'm your best friend and I'm warning you. He wants to leave you, too. I think it's safer if you just leave. I don't think that's... You live together and you don't notice. Hasn't he been acting suspiciously? If you haven't noticed, then you're not very smart. Mary thought Patricia was lying, but the more she heard, the more worried she became. Did they really conspire this together? What would happen to me if my husband came back here? Thinking about that, should I leave the house right now? Mary couldn't believe anything anymore. Only her anxiety grew and grew. Patricia's confident attitude made her feel that her husband was also. Mary tried to run away from home, but at that moment, the door to her house opened. There was her husband, who was not supposed to be home at this time of night. Look, your helper has finally shown up. Are you okay? Uh-huh. What?
Mary, don't let Patricia fool you.
What do you mean?
I heard everything you just said. I don't want a divorce from Mary.
You don't?
Of course not. I knew it was Patricia. Patricia had a history of giving sleeping pills to men she liked and sleeping with them. Even before we were married, I was very careful when the three of us would have a drink together.
Oh, really? That long ago?
I just wasn't sure if Patricia wanted me or not. I was avoiding Patricia, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her because she's Mary's best friend. I thought that if we were married, it wouldn't happen, but you know how many times Mary was sleeping like a baby? And it was always on the days that Patricia came to visit.
Yes, that's how it was, come to think of it. Did you notice that?
Yes. Just when I was getting suspicious, Mary collapsed at home. I didn't see it until it was too late, and I put Mary through a lot of pain. I felt sorry and I felt ashamed.
Then when you said that at the hospital, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. You didn't think it was a suicide attempt?
Yes, I was sorry that I couldn't protect you from Patricia. Patricia, why did you do this to us?
Because you wouldn't leave Mary.
I'm not breaking up with her. Me and Mary love each other.
After all, what did you want from me by giving me sleeping pills? I thought that if I made Mary a lazy wife who slept around all day and didn't do any housework, he'd fall out of love with you and leave you. Is that why?
You know what? I wouldn't hate Mary for that reason. Even though you've been asleep all day, she's been taking care of the house this morning. I'm grateful for that.
And you guys were going to have a baby. Of course we were going to have a baby. We're a married couple. That's what's annoying me the most. If we had a baby, James would leave you, wouldn't he?
Why the hell are you assuming we're divorcing? I'm 100% sure that Mary and I will never break up, whether we have a baby or not. Even if we did, there's 100,000,000% no way I'd ever stick with you.
You don't know that. I wish you had never woken up in the first place.
Are you serious?
All right, bye.
No. You're going to turn yourself into the police.
Why?
You gave her sleeping pills. That's assault, maybe even attempted murder.
I didn't do anything like that.
I knew you'd say that. Why do you think I came here at this right moment?
What?
I had a hidden camera set up, and I was waiting at the house next door. I've been off work the whole time.
Oh, really? Well, let me know if you did.
Mary, you're not a good actor. If she found out, there'll be no proof.
What? Which one?
You didn't even know I put it here.
Oh, here it is. James was so smug that he ended up telling her the location of the hidden camera. The next moment, however, Patricia smashed the camera on the floor. I'm sorry, but there's no more evidence. But I have the results of the ingredient analysis of the snacks we had the other day. You can't get away with it. Where is the proof that I made them?
This bitch.
Okay, bye-bye.
Wait a minute.
Oh? Huh? Oh no! Patricia for some reason did not run away but rushed into the bathroom. Oh, it's finally working.
What do you mean?
Well, I put laxatives in the juice Patricia drank. An eye for an eye.
You're a jerk.
It's just a little revenge, I mean. It's not so bad when it's laxatives, is it? And the other day, I gave her a laxative, and while she was in the bathroom, I put the sweets away. So hurry up. Police! Police!
Don't worry about that. They should be here by now.
What? When did you call it in?
I called the cops before I came in here.
That's what I'm talking about. Well done.
But they smashed the camera, so I don't have any proof. I'm sorry I was in a bad mood, I told the cops.
Oh, that's okay. I had a hidden camera installed too, so there's plenty of evidence.
You are amazing. I've also checked the ingredients of Patricia's pastries. We have enough evidence.
No, that's a lie.
A lie?
I don't know where to go to get the ingredients checked.
You're saying you're bluffing? So you're saying you set Patricia up without knowing for sure?
Well, yes, but I was drugged, that's a fact. If I had to doubt either you or Patricia, it would be Patricia.
What would you have done if it hadn't been her?
We were best friends, for God's sake. I thought if I was wrong, you could just say I'm sorry.
You're such a dick.
I thought we had a relationship that couldn't be solved with. I'm sorry. So I'm more shocked.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't check the ingredients, but I kept the sweets. I'm sure the police will check the ingredients.
We were talking like this in front of the restroom where Patricia had rushed into the bathroom. Patricia seemed to have heard it as well. What is it with you people? You're totally in sync with each other. Of course we are. There's no room for you. The police arrived and arrested Patricia on the spot. James had actually consulted the police before Mary was taken to the hospital. But at that time, they did not act because they did not have any evidence. But soon after that, he heard that Mary had taken sleeping pills and collapsed. The police finally came to their senses. I didn't know the extent of Patricia's crime. It seems that they were not so lenient with Patricia. I found out later that Patricia had actually given sleeping pills to another man, and she had been accused of it. So she was convicted, but was on probation. So after all this time, she was sentenced to prison. Since it looks like she won't be coming out for a while, I'm going to move somewhere where Patricia doesn't know. By the way, regarding my giving Patricia laxatives, I looked it up on the internet, and it looks like I shouldn't have done that. But Patricia didn't sue me. I guess the police didn't question it because it was only a very small dose. I told the police when Patricia was arrested. They didn't say anything after that. I thought this would give us a peaceful, newlywed life. This whole thing has been so traumatic for me, I'm still too scared to eat food prepared by other people. I haven't been able to go out to eat, only at convenience stores. I've talked to the doctor about this, but he says it's a gradual process. James and I were in love to begin with, but this one incident has brought us closer together as a couple. I loved my husband more and more after that, and we got along so well every night I got pregnant. Life is full of unexpected things. In some cases, we are betrayed by people we trusted. In this case, Mary's best friend drugged her with sleeping pills, a dangerous act that put her life in danger. Not only that, but she also suffered a great deal of psychological damage, such as not being able to trust anyone anymore. I also suffered a great deal of psychological damage, although her husband's support helped her to resolve the problem this time. However, it may remain as an emotional trauma for Mary in the future. Whenever something is not to her liking, some people like Patricia will not hesitate to hurt people they care about. You will never be happy with what you get from hurting someone else. Before you make a mistake, I would like you to review your own situation.